Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. So, good morning, entire Brannock for Slashing Studios community. This is Brannock Fall, also known as the CEO of Brannock for Slashing Studios Corporation. So, let's starting with the training for the professionals on the Brannock for Slashing community, on the Roblox community. So, I will show the first presentation, which you will get start with the sessions after the sessions. So starting with the session 1, the correction is the key. So that being said, the correction one by another is about of the camera movements. Because the camera movements are techniques used to change the camera's perspective within a scene, adding dynamism and visual storytelling to film and video. They can be broadly categorized into basic movements like pan, tilt, zoom, and tracking, as well as more advanced techniques like crane shots and handheld shots. So as well, starting with the basic camera movements for the starters, just to be honest. So we have a pan. The camera pivots horizontally on a fixed axis, moving left or right. So let's say you want to move it to the left on 20 degrees. So it moves slightly, 20 degrees all over. And tilt. The camera pivots vertically, moving up and down. Like, this is in the middle. Let's do the pan on 20. And tilt on also 20. And this is how it looks. The zoom, altering the focal length of the lens to make the subject appear closer or further away. If, as an example, if I was moving slightly different and backing away the camera, it looks really far away. But if I do a little bit close up, yep, it looks like straight into the camera. Now ahead with the dolly tracking. The camera physically moves closer or further from alongside the subject. Like you're having an item and the camera will follow the trace of the item all over, so it makes it feel better. And truck, similar to dolly, but the camera moves laterally left or right along a track, just like easily, just to be honest. So more advanced camera movements is vary. No. So starting with crane, also known as Gibro. I could name it Jib, to be honest, for some short. The camera is mounted on a crane or jib. Sorry, Gibraltar. No one is armed. Allowing for vertical and horizontal movement with a wide range of motion. Like you're having a selfie stick, just to be honest. And also taking a selfie from it. Like social media and something like that. Starting with secondary pedestal. The camera is raised or lowered vertically on the pedestal independent of the lens position. So when it's used on the video production, it's literally basic, or even something like that. Because, another type of camera movement in the zoom, which involves adjusting the focal length of the lens to make the subject appear closer or further away in the frame. This technique is one of the most frequently used moves since it is one of the easiest to accomplish. However, it's the one of the most overused types of shots in video. Amateurs constantly zoom in their cameras. In professional video, it is best to combine a zoom with some other camera movement. For example, like while panning from one figure to another and wanting to keep them the same size in the frame zoom at the same time the camera is being panned. The way the audience is unaware as zoom is being used. And that's why another type of camera movement is the pedestal shot, which involves maneuvering the camera up and down its vertical or horizontal axis. The entire camera moves by raising or lowering the tripod head easily. So starting with the handheld, this camera is held by the operator, creating the more dynamic and sometimes shaky or subjective perspective. So that's more people really grabbing their cameras on the back, or even the credibility of the camera, such as influencers who always grabbing the phone, or even the camera all over the places. They're starting to running while shaking aggressively. Um, so starting with aerial, the camera is positioned high above the scene, often using drones or to capture a wide bird's eye view. So, like getting even higher, about you want to get the camera about 100 feet. So you need a drone for that. And that will magically arrive very smoothly. Or even the crane, like it's for maximum 15 feet or it's something like that. It kind of also is useful. Whip pan. No one is embarrassed. A very rapid pan that creates a motion blur effect, often used for transition. They always use sometimes in reality shows blur effects. Sometimes when one of the contestants leaves the game or being eliminated, they will leave by to the front or even to the back, and whip pan comes into play. As it transitions back straight to the contestants. And now with the final thing, dolly zoom. A combination of zooming and dollying, creating a disoriental visual effect. So, but this definition is very useful. Such as other types of cameras of movies and films. Pan, tilt, push in, pull out, zoom, dolly zoom, roll, tracking, arc, boom, handheld, and bird's eye. That's the entire silhouette. So as well as it might be. So the camera movements are crucial for guiding the viewer's eye, revealing information and creating specific moods of emotions within the scene. They can be used to build tension, reveal character relationships, or simply add visual to interest the shot. So those shots need to be used on the camera movements and something like that. So I hope everyone will understand. So if any other further questions that you guys would like to add or something like that, make sure to ask some staff members or actual producers or something like that to help it out, or even Brandon for Sashun Corporation. So that's all for me for today. See you in the session 2, which might conclude for another key method. That was the first ever session. Next session will be casually tomorrow, or even the next year. So, with that being said, thank you so much for listening. Everyone might know or understand about this session, and thank you guys for joining in. Thank you guys for participating in the training on Brian for Sashun Studios, and also see you there on the session 2. Peace.